What's up, guys? You're listening to Confessions of a Gym Rat, getting you through the 9 to 5 as healthily and happily as possible. I am here back on YouTube, but Miss Chloe, you can't really see her, is walking around my feet right now, which doesn't really work. She's causing a commotion, but yeah, see, here she is. I'll show you guys for YouTube. Hello. Okay, everyone that is listening on audio, I'm so sorry that you probably only hear her grunting, but for those on YouTube, you can put a face to the little jingle jangles that happen every single episode. Okay, goodbye. I don't think I ever really explained this, but Chloe is technically not my dog. I count her as my dog, like I'll say my dog, but technically she is my dad's dog, and I do not live with my father, but she comes here a lot. So my dad travels a lot for work, and because I love Chloe so much, and I'm his daughter, when he goes away for work, I take her, and she stays with me. But it just so happens that either for every episode I'm recording or interview that I'm doing, like in advance, she's here. So I don't think we've gone through one episode without her jangling. And you'll hear in my interview later on her little jingles too make an appearance. So we're just gonna let her float around. Anyway, it is Christmas week officially, so I'm super pumped. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you're getting in the spirit. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope that you have a nice, relaxing weekend of doing absolutely nothing. I think it is, so I'm actually taking the following week, it's like a week from today, actually, when this podcast released, off from work. I have the PTO to use up or it'll expire, but I'm a huge believer in, like, we need little breaks. Like, even if you don't go on a vacation, you know, it's not affordable all the time for everyone to go on vacation. Those little breaks are, one, something to look forward to. Oh, there she goes to the jingle again. And two, just like so important for our mental and physical health. We need some days, more than just 2 days on the weekend, to sleep in, get some rest, especially if you're like a parent and you like send your kids off to school and then you could just have the day by yourself to breathe. For me, obviously, that's not the case, so I could just fly by my own agenda. But see, point of my story, super important to take those little life breaks from work just to recuperate and take a second and enjoy life and not be behind spreadsheets or God knows what. That's my 2 cents on that. I don't know how I got into a lecture about how you should use your PTO. Anyway, I'm sorry. The dog is so distracting right now. She has this little sushi toy, and it's very adorable, and she wants to play so bad, but we're busy over here. Okay? Anyway, I told you guys a few weeks ago that I was having some health issues and that I had to go to the doctor, so I have a little update on that scenario, and I figured that it would be good to fill y'all in. Also, because apparently, like, what's happening to me is common in girls around my age, so you might learn a thing or two from this. Okay. So I told you guys that I was having these episodes of, like, I would get very, very lightheaded. There was a few times where I passed out, nausea, heat, like hot flashes and then chills, and I didn't know what was causing it. It would come on very suddenly. I went to the cardiologist last week, and without really, like, knowing anything about me, like, I didn't tell him, like, oh, I go to the gym a lot, blah, blah, blah. He just looked at me and was like, do you avoid salt in your diet? And I was like, I don't necessarily, like, avoid salt. Like, I season, like, my chicken and stuff with salt. I have pretzels and I have popcorn as, like, a snack, but I don't eat salt-heavy foods. And he was like, okay, and how often do you exercise? And I was like, I exercise 5 to 6 times a week. Like, I'm big into weightlifting, cardio, blah, blah, blah. Gave him the whole rundown. And he was like, okay, yeah. I think that you're not getting enough salt or sodium in your body, and you're having these periods where your blood pressure is dropping so low, and it happens very suddenly, and that's why you're having these incidents. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you have to think about it. So I told him, I was like, no, like I eat pretzels and like I eat popcorn and I put salt on my popcorn. And he was like, yeah, but when you exercise and you sweat, you're releasing the salt. Salt, like that's why our sweat is salty. I'm not eating enough salt for my body considering what's coming out of it. And I'm having these periods where my blood pressure is dropping super low, I guess. And that's why I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I do pass out and all that stuff. So now I'm on these. I've been taking these. I'm on these. It's not a prescription medicine. I've been taking these sodium. I think it's sodium chloride. That like sounds right, but chloride sounds wrong. But I'm just going to go with that. They're little like salt tablets. I've been taking one a day, typically with lunch, and he suggested like try and have salt in every meal. I don't have to go crazy, but there's no shortage of salt in here, you know? But I thought that was pretty interesting. And I was like, I brought it up to him. Like, I was like, you know, I don't really go too heavy on salt because I heard like it's not good really for your blood pressure. And it could cause bloating. And he was like, you don't have to eat a ridiculous amount of salt. Just try and make sure you're getting it in at least every meal because I'm not having enough. And then when I really like sat back and thought about it, like, yeah, if I have if I have a salad for lunch or a sandwich, the only salt is going to be like if I salt in. I'm saying salt way too many times now and it's freaking me out. If I put salt on the meat, that's really the only way I'm getting it in my food, in my lunches. So yeah, that's something that I have to work on. If you've been having like a similar incident or you're a type of person that like exercises very heavy and tends to avoid salt, keep that in mind because I was completely unaware that that could happen. And now I do know. Hopefully that's it. I still have to go back. I'm going back in January for an echocardiogram or something. I don't know. You'd think I know with all the Grey's Anatomy I watched, but no. So I'm going for an echo. That's what it's called for short, you know. And one of those things where they have to put like the monitor on you for 3 days. And then going back for a follow-up. I'm going to stick with like this new, like trying to get the right amount of salt in and hopefully I see some changes. If not, we're back to square one. So hopefully this is it because I mentioned it when I brought this up. Like I hate when you know something is wrong. Something is wrong and nobody's able to diagnose it. So to hear this doctor say something and be like, I'm pretty confident that this is what it is, I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus, Lord, God, thank you. So yeah, that's my little health update. Anyway, though, I have some things that I want to tell you guys, but one of them I'm specifically keeping for my highlight segment because I don't want to spoil that for y'all. But this week is pretty fun. I've been getting into the holiday spirit, as some may say. Thank you, Chloe. We had our first snowfall, if that's what you want to call it, in Jersey. So technically it snowed last week, but only in like the northwest part of Jersey that I think is like basically New York or Pennsylvania. Not in my part. But this past Thursday we got our first snowstorm. It's like really funny to me the names that they come up with like for any type of storm that happens. Like, oh, it's what's the one oh God, a few years ago I was in school and they were like, warning, like, and they said this name and everyone was like, what the hell is that? Oh, squall, snow squall. All the signs on the road said, warning, snow squall coming. And I was like, we're all like, where are these names coming from? What's the difference? Like, snow squall. today, or this week's was described as a wintry storm mix. And then there's just snowstorm. Blizzard. The difference between snowstorm and blizzard's pretty straightforward, but I'm like, what? Who is in charge of these things? And why are they gonna do it like that? Because I'm confused. Just tell me snow, and my ass is staying off the roads. But yeah, we got a what they defined as a wintry mix this week, and I actually thought it was snowing when I left work and was like, oh God, here we go, the snow started. And to my very pleasant surprise, I got outside and it was not snowing. It was hailing, which hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it's not fun being hailed on. And also, apparently hail can cause like dents to cars, like if they're big enough. So I'm like, it's really great that I can't park in a garage. So just gonna have to pray for the best for my little Jeep over there. But yeah, first snowfall of the season. We also had, it was coincidentally on the same day as our little gift exchange at work. I talk about this all the time. I rather have a work environment where I have made good, trusty, true friends and I enjoy being around those people and like making maybe like a little bit less money, not making no money, but a little bit less, than having like a 6-figure job and hating everyone that I work with. I am so blessed to have such great friends at work, and we did a little Secret Santa, as we always do. So just in case you guys are curious, I had my friend Chris, who unfortunately lives in North Carolina, so I had to mail his gift, but his wife gave birth last Friday. Very, very exciting, and also very frightening that I have a friend that's now a father. Chris is like 28, by the way. He's not like 23 like me, but I was like, my initial reaction was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I have a friend that's literally a dad now. Huh. And this is only the start. But anyway, I mailed his little gifts to him. I got him this like custom-made picture on Etsy. Like somebody, I guess, like paints it, or not paints it, but like designs it graphically. And it was like him and his wife with, it was like their backs and they're holding like each other's backs. His wife holding the baby and their little dog on the other side. Oh God. And now Chloe's scratching at the mirror. So let me cut myself off real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see that I have a mirror to my left. This is a new addition to my room. I did not always have a mirror that reached the floor. And now that I do, Chloe is very concerned when she sees herself in the mirror. Yesterday, she started like scraping her back paw and was very alarmed and confused when the dog in the mirror did it back. So we're trying to get her used to that. Anyway, that's when I got my friend Chris. Very nice. I got, it was like a 2-part gift. I got them both on Etsy because, one, I like to give gifts that are like thoughtful, you know, and like that could really be anything. I didn't want to get him like something generic. 2, Etsy is a great place if you're looking to support small businesses to do so. You know, they have really cute like paintings, little things for the home, like custom things, especially if like you're a big sports fan. So don't sleep on Etsy. Some of it's like really affordable too. Don't sleep on Etsy. But I got in return a Macy's gift card, which I will be thinking long and hard about how I'm going to use that wisely. And I got a bundt cake. So apparently, I don't know where I've been, but apparently there's this like cake store that's been going around New Jersey, and it's called Nothing Bundt Cakes. I've seen them before because like one of my friends has brought them in for people's birthdays and stuff, but I just never really thought anything of it. And I got handed this bundt cake and I was like, where's this from? And my friend was like, oh, this is from Nothing Bundt Cakes. There's like tons around you. And I was like, oh, really? And she was like, dude, they're known for like how spongy and soft their cakes are. So I was like, oh shit, like I'll give it a try and bring it home. And my mom's like, oh my God, is that from Nothing Bundt Cakes? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, I've heard such good things. Apparently their cakes are really spongy and soft. And I'm like, oh, well, apparently everybody else did too, and I just didn't get the memo. So, update, I ate half of it, can confirm, very spongy and very soft. So, that was a very pleasant surprise, and that was my Secret Santa. Yeah. Before I talk really fast, and I was about to switch gears into I was about to start a new conversation without switching gears. We're going from happy gear into morning gear. Before I really get into this episode, I must share the sad news that my fish has passed away this week. And I'm laughing about it because, first of all, it's a fish. So it's not like it was a person, you know? That would be horrible if I laughed at that. But in situations like this, I'm like, hey, you gotta laugh a little, otherwise you're actually gonna be really sad. And I don't really need to be crying for days over a fish. But my dear Pudgette, that's her name, has crossed to the other side. So I got Pudgette the summer right after my junior year of college, like the beginning of the summer. And earlier, like that winter, my dog had passed away, and I was like, I just need to have it. Like, this household needs a pet, and I feel responsible. So I came home one day and was like, Ma, I'm going to get a betta fish. And she was like, all right, I mean, you take care of it. So go ahead. And I was like, all right, bye. Met my dad at PetSmart. Dad tried to talk me into getting a male betta fish, but I had my heart set on a female. This is going to sound really fucked up, but I have a fear of fish, unless they're specific kinds of fish. Even I can't talk about The Departed like this, but even when I would look at Pudgette for too long, I'm just going to call her Pudge for short, seeing the little things that fish do with I just did it for YouTube. It just freaks me out. And if I stare at their gills for too long, I just chills all over my body. One of the grossest things I think, on my top ick list, is large goldfish. If you have never seen an oversized goldfish, do not look it up unless you want, unless you really want. You can look it up, but I warned you. It is disgusting. It looks like it should be a koi fish, but it's not. And I need to get that visual out of my head immediately. Anyway, sometimes male betta fish freak me the fuck out. Their tails are everyone, and I know I stand alone in this, everyone likes to get the males because the males are the ones with the long, beautiful fins. I find those fins to be very scary. I don't like them. I don't like my dad had one and it was super long and it freaked me out. And then it died and my mom took a picture of it vertical and it was so long and I wanted to throw up everywhere. Moral of the story, I did not get a male betta fish. I got a female and she was so tiny and so red. And I named her Pudge, but Pudgette because she was a girl. After the fish in Lilo and Stitch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, educate yourself. That's all I have to say on that. Anyway, I've had Pudgette for a while. We've had some great memories. Last Saturday, when I was actually doing all my editing for YouTube, I went upstairs and I noticed she hadn't been eating as much recently. Hadn't really been eating too much in recent days. And I look at her, and she is pale. That girl had lost her color. And I was like, oh, fuck. And she was lying down at the bottom of the tank, which is a little confusing because normally that is a bad sign, but betta fish do like to, they do lie down and take naps. So I just kind of gave the bowl a little shake and she twitched around and I was like, okay, she's alive. Maybe her water's too cold because it's very cold outside. So I ordered a water heater. It came the next day. It's so tiny. It was $14 on Amazon. Put it in. I nudged her with her little leaf in the morning and she shot around and I was like, whew. Okay, she's still kicking it. This is, what is this? So that happened on Saturday. Okay, so I saw her, she started to get sick on Saturday. She made it through the day, Sunday, the water heater came. Monday morning, I nudge her, she's still moving. I'm like, all right. And then I go back in the afternoon, and I'm like, where is she? So I look inside her little log that I got for her to hide in. And I'm like, so I have a bowl. It's like an actual fish bowl, not like a tank. So when you look in, unless you're looking like from the top, it's a little distorted. Like it's hard to see because it's like spherical. So I'm looking in the log. I have like, my neck's like in a full like 90-degree angle. And I'm like, oh, fuck. She looks pretty vertical, but I can't be sure. So I'm like, Ma. She comes in. I'm like, yeah, I think she's dead, but I can't tell. And my mom's like, well, where is she? So I'm like, she's in the log. So my mom like gives the bowl a little shake, no movement. Gives the bowl like a big shake, no movement. And she's like, I don't think it's looking too good. And I was like, yeah. But I'm just going to like ignore it for a little, go to the gym, see if she moves when I get back. I get back, she was in the same position. And I was like, yeah, time to call it. I think she's gone. She's gone. So obviously I was sad, but at least she was like, she died like in her log, so I didn't really have to see it. That like I don't want to see it, sorry. So I text my dad, and I'm like, the time has come. We must put her to rest. Would you do the honors of burying her? And my dad was like, absolutely. It would be an honor. So he comes over, takes him a hot second to get the fish out because she started decomposing onto the log. Not that you needed to know that, but very gross. Finally, puts her in this plastic bag because he didn't want her to be warm food. I am like, hands over my eyes. I'm like, I'm not looking. I do not want to see my beautiful fish's dead body. I just don't. She was literally this big, like smaller than my pinky thumb in length. Or my pinky finger in length. So I bring out the light. My dad buries her. We make a little cross out of chopsticks. And we put her to rest. Sadly. I will get another fish, just not right now. I must mourn properly. And also just not have the responsibility of changing water for a few weeks. And that's that. So, R.I.P. She did me well. Don't get me wrong, I am actually very sad about it, but I just, you gotta laugh about it a little bit. You gotta find some humor in some dark situations. So, yeah, that's it. R.I.P. Let her rest in fishy heaven. Anyway, we have a jam-packed episode today. So, I am going to be going over great gift ideas for gym rats. So, whether you are a gym rat and you want to put this stuff last minute on your Christmas list or Hanukkah list or whatever list, or you're shopping for a gym rat, I got you covered with ideas. Don't worry. And then I have a awesome interview with Kristin Taenzer at the end of this episode. If you listen to anything in this episode, I really hope that you tune in for the interview. I had such a good conversation with her. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. She's fantastic, and I'll tell you more about it later. But let's get into today's episode. All right, let's get into the highlights for this week. So I am very excited to talk to you guys about the highlights from this week because, damn, I didn't think about this. I was going to use this as my non-health and fitness related highlight, but now I'm thinking that it is. Okay. Okay, I'm going to rethink this. Okay. I'm gathering my brain. Okay, I'm good. So I'm going to switch it up from what I was planning on doing a second ago. My non-health and fitness related highlight was I went to the Rutgers vs. Seton Hall basketball game with my dad last Sunday, and that was super fun just getting to go with him. Good game, although we lost. But one of my in-person clients is in the band at Rutgers, so I got to see her perform, which was really, really cool. She gets to see me in my element every week, and I've never got to see her in her element before. And it was just really cool getting to see her because I love her. She's fantastic. But my health and fitness related highlight for the week. I went snowboarding for the first time ever. I have a huge smile on my face because I've been wanting to do this for years. I've never skied. I've never snowboarded. The extent of my winter sports has been tubing. I did technically take one ski lesson when I was a kid, but I really wouldn't even count that. But one of my really good friends is very, very good at snowboarding. He goes like basically every weekend in the winter, gets very hype about it. And last year, like I was like, oh, I want to do it. And then we never set anything up. So like a month ago or something, I was like, Cam, let's sit down, let's pick a date, and let's go. Because we're in New Jersey, if you're in New Jersey, you're familiar. If you're not, you probably aren't. We have the American Dream Mall right next to MetLife Stadium where the Giants and the Jets play. It's like an hour from my house, but they have an indoor ski and snowboard slope, you know? It's like, it's nothing crazy, and if you're definitely good at snowboarding and stuff, it's like, it's probably good practice, but it's not like being in the outdoors. But for me, it was great because there was like little learning tracks and I could get into everything. So Cam was a fantastic teacher. Of course, I fell a few times, but I wasn't sore and I wasn't really banged up. I thought that I was going to have a huge black and blue on my ass. And I didn't, actually. It was, oh my God, it was so much fun, guys. I can't even put it into words. He taught me, it was like heel slide, toe slide, how to turn, how to stop. A lot of it made sense because of like the yoga background that I have. And as far as like keeping my balance wasn't the hard part, first of all, like you're strapped in pretty tight to the snowboard. But I have a good understanding of like, how my knees should be and putting pressure through my legs because of weightlifting and yoga. It's just like you start to pick up speed and in my head, I'm like, oh shit. So I got to get out a few more times. I think we're going to go back or go somewhere else next week. But stay tuned because I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to be good at it. Because unless he was lying, which I don't think he was, we'll say for the sake of my ego, Cam said I did a good job yesterday and he was highly impressed for a beginner. So, yeah, that was definitely a highlight for me. And I'm always trying to show you guys, as much as I love weightlifting and there's definitely so many benefits to resistance training, especially as we get older, there's other fun ways to exercise. I was out there for 2 hours and I was sweating. I'll tell you that. I was sweating. But yeah, it was super, super, super fun. And I'm looking forward to doing it more often and just having something to do during the winter, not just like, oh, it's a Saturday, I guess I'll go to the bar again with my friends. Like, no, it's a Saturday and it's like a really nice snow day. Like, let's go, like, let me go to a mountain or something like that. So very excited to pick that up. And I will keep you guys informed and updated on my snowboarding journey. And if anyone has any good, like, what am I trying to say? If anyone has any good tips for beginners or whatever, listen, I'm open to taking them because I know nothing right now. So this is my verbally announcing that I am open and ready to accept some tips. All right, let's get into the holiday mode. Get your debit cards ready to go because I have some good gift ideas for y'all. Whether, like I said in the intro, whether you want to put this on your own list or you're shopping for a gym rat, listen on up because I got some ideas and they're not going to break your bank account. That was almost smooth until I ruined it. Anyway, I gathered 5 ideas. I figured I would keep it to 5. Otherwise, I could be here forever and it would get expensive. But 5 ideas either you can ask for or you can give to someone. And the first one is a really good stocking stuffer idea. So I know parents, like my mom's always like, what can I put in a stocking? Always trying to like rack her brain with things like that. So if you're struggling or you want to give your parents a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, samplers for supplements. You can get, most supplement companies, I know OneUp definitely does, you can get sampler packages. And there's two different benefits to this. So you can either give someone or get a sampler package to try different flavors and see what you want to invest in. Or if you're someone that travels a lot, like when I have to travel for work and stuff, you can use those sample packs to take with you. So I haven't really talked about this. No, I did. I've talked about this when I went to Miami on the podcast. I went to Fort Lauderdale first it was for work. So I didn't want to really slack, and like, just be like, like, I'm away from home, so here's an excuse to go all out, you know? Like, I was like, no, I'm not on vacation yet. This is just another day. Let's stay on track. So I would bring my tiny little travel sample size protein powders with me and my greens. Whether, I've talked about this before, but whether I'm traveling for work or for personal, I always bring my greens because they just help me feel good throughout the day. I did not bring my greens to Nashville with me when I went last summer because I was like, personal vacation, like, relax, like, take a break from the gym. But with all, like, the food and stuff I was eating, I was like, really wish I had a nice cup of greens and some nice vitamins right now. So my greens go with me everywhere. If you know someone that, you know, like, use a lot of protein powder, like pre-workout, greens, perfect stocking stuffer for them. And like, they're so cheap. I know with OneUp you can get them for like $12 or something, with like people's codes and stuff, and that's so affordable. So that's a really cute idea, and I'm a huge fan of those little things. I'm actually running out, and I kind of need more. Anyway, next gift, a little bit more expensive, you know, not as cheap as $12, but a great gift to give is a lifting belt. I just posted a reel last week, not to plug myself into Instagram, but here I am, being smooth, on the benefits of lifting belts. I don't care if you're 16 or 70. I think that they're good to use. You know, they help prevent our backs from hyperextending, which is super, super important. A lot of people experience back pain in exercises like squats and deadlifts and stuff because they're like hyperextending their back. The lifting belt creates a wall, so you can't, if that makes sense. So obviously you guys know I use upper gear. If you're looking to get someone like a normal sized gift or whatever, I think that one's a really good one to go with. And there's so many different colors now, especially like my favorite right now is my neon pink one from Upper. If you couldn't tell on YouTube by the glow, I love pink. So many different ways that you could like put thought into it, you know, and show that like you really, you know, you put effort into the gift. Piggybacking off of that, lifting straps is also another really good gift to get a gym rat. Lifting straps, I've made a video on this too on my Instagram. They go around the dumbbell and then like on your, like the inside of your knuckles, whatever you would call those, like the pads of your palm? I don't know. But they help with our grip. So say you can do RDLs with, I'll say 100 pounds, sure. But your wrists and your forearms can't handle 100 pounds. The lifting strap's going to help with the grips. And those are also super affordable, and you know, they also come in a bunch of colors and all that fun jazz, you know? All right, number 4 on the list, pump covers. Every gym rat could use a nice oversized pump cover, and you don't have to break your bank with it. So I've found some of my best like t-shirts, like I'm saying pump cover, but if you're not familiar with the term, it's just a t-shirt. It's just a graphic t-shirt that it's a new thing now. Get with the times. We call them pump covers. It's just a t-shirt you wear in the gym, like over your sports bra for girls and stuff. Because you know it hides like the arms and whatnot. Anyway, I've gotten some of my favorites at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. If you just search in the men's section, whether you're like a man, female, whatever, I have found some great shirts in the men's section. I found an $8 Britney Spears t-shirt in the men's section of Marshall's before, and I love that t-shirt. So if you're looking to give a gym rat something special, you just get a graphic t-shirt and say it's a pump cover to kind of hype it up a little. And there you go. That's that. And moving on to the fifth and the last gift. This one's a little more particular. So if you don't have Beats, unfortunately, this isn't really going to do much for you. But you can get Beats, like the headphones, replacement covers on Amazon for like $18. So if you know someone that, their Beats are kind of old, or maybe they would want like a different color, like a black padding on a red band, or vice versa, something cool, you can get those super cheap on Amazon. I actually just ordered some for myself, I was thinking, because my Beats are from, let's see, I got my Beats in 2017, so they're like 5.5 years old, and they work perfectly fine, but they're 5.5 years old, so the padding is starting to crumble off. And that's something that I probably should have put on my Christmas list and asked for, but I didn't, because I didn't think about it. And it was something that I would have enjoyed, so I thought that it was worth sharing with you guys. That's really it. Those are the big 5 that I wanted to go over. Other, like, more general things, you can't go wrong with some leggings, some nice, like, socks to wear to the gym, a hydro jug, big-ass water bottle. Yeah, that's, you can figure out the rest. But I thought that these ones are, like, pretty in right now. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can kind of, like, customize them to show you care. Even with the sample pack, be like, I got you greens because I know you take them every day. I decided to get you blueberry muffin protein powder because I thought that you would really like blueberry, Ways to personalize it and really put in effort, but not break your bank account or your brain trying to think of a good present idea. It is time to get into some questions. Got my questions up, ready to go. Gonna give the whole ordeal again. If you want to submit a question to have it answered on the podcast, I put up question boxes every Monday on my Instagram story. You can also leave them in the podcast reviews, leave a message on my blog, or DM me, and I'll answer them. So I haven't read any of these advanced. Let's see. Let's get into these. Ethnicity. So really quick, short answer one. I can't remember if I've answered this before. I am 50% Chinese and 50% Italian. Not a lot of people can guess my mix because I don't really look that much of either, but my last name is straight up Chinese, my dad's 100% Chinese, my mom's 100% Italian, and here I am. I think they did an okay job. I'm just kidding. Okay. Next question, increasing muscle mass as a vegan. I'm assuming she means how to increase muscle mass as a vegan. Same way for a non-vegan. Aim to get a gram of protein in per body pound that you weigh. Obviously, you can't get in your protein through meat and cheese, and I don't know why I said cheese. But you can get your protein in through vegan protein bars, like Misfits. That's a 15 grams right there. There's vegan protein powders. One of my favorite vegan, actually, not milkshake smoothies, is I do a scoop of chocolate vegan protein powder, half a banana, 2 or 3 tablespoons of peanut butter powder, or just regular peanut butter, and almond milk. And that's like 30-something grams right there. Misfits also has protein cereal, and so does Special K. I know, Special K's is good. I haven't tried any others, so I don't want to give recommendations to ones that I haven't tried. But those are all good options. And, you just got to find vegan ways to make it work. And the good thing about it being 2022 is that there's starting to be a lot more pop up. All right. Best way to get water in when you suck at drinking anything. I mean, listen, that kind of stuff really does come down to discipline. You know, there's not like, I can't give you like a secret hack that's going to make you change your mindset and like how disciplined you are. But one thing that has helped me personally is just having a bigger water bottle with a straw too. So it's near me and it's a constant reminder of I want to drink more, I want to drink more. I read Atomic Habits, the book, and like my number one takeaway from it was the guy was like, if you want to pick up a habit, put something that reminds you of that habit in front of your face, like somewhere where you'll see it every day. For example, like with water, if you want to drink more water, get a big ass water bottle and take it with you everywhere. Okay. How long do you wait to go back to the gym when you're sick? So this really depends. If I have the flu or something, it really depends on when I feel better, you know, like if it really depends. It depends on two things. When I'm feeling better and when I'm not contagious, you know? So I don't really have a straight answer for that one, and I'm sorry, but you kind of got to feel it out. Like I am pretty good at knowing myself, and I'm sure you're good at knowing yourself too. And just knowing like what you'll be capable of, even if it's a light workout. But number one thing is you don't want to go to the gym if you're still contagious because nobody else wants your germs. Sorry. Okay. Drop your calves routine. Sir, I don't know why you're asking for my calves routine because I do not have any. I have a pathetic excuse for calves. But honestly, I add in like 1 or 2 exercises on both of my leg days, and I normally just do different variations of calf raises. That's literally it. My calves suck. They're very stubborn muscles, and we're working on them. But it is going to take more years. Okay, next question, New Year's goals. What are your New Year's goals? So I haven't made any because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Listen, if everyone's encouraging people, like I know that a lot of people do, so I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to encourage people as well to get up and start fresh in 2023. But I don't think that you need a new calendar year to start making a change or start working on something. If there's something that I want to do, want to feel, want to get, then I'm going to do it now. Because why wait? You know, that's my philosophy. And last question is a bit of a doozy. How do you balance work, personal life, fitness, podcast, and training clients? And that is a very good question. And the best answer I can give you is I'm a very schedule-oriented person. My weekend, like my Saturday nights, Friday nights are pretty much clear unless I make plans in advance, which it has been a pretty busy month for me. But I'm very schedule-oriented. Listen, I work every day from this time to that time. That's when I got to work. That's my full-time job. Same thing with my clients. I schedule it around, so I either meet with them before or after work, and then I go with myself. You know, I don't do things during the week. I don't go out to eat. I don't hang out with friends during the week. I'm busy because that's when I'm keeping up with my clients. And then Sunday night is my big night for let's edit the podcast and the videos and make sure those are all in order. Let's make sure my clients are set up for the week ahead and get my life in check kind of day. There are sacrifices that you have to make if you want to achieve certain goals, unfortunately. This podcast is something that I really, really wanted to do. So that means that sometimes like I don't hang out with people on a Sunday or something because I'm recording. You know, it's my choice, but I'm very schedule oriented, and I don't think that any of this would be possible if I wasn't schedule and goal oriented. But that's it. Leave your questions for next week. I will circle back and we'll keep learning and growing together. As cheesy and cornball as that sounds, I am instantly regretting that phrase coming out of my mouth. All right, everyone, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of Confessions of a Gym Rat. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok at Lifts with Liz so you can keep updated with all my journeys. But I cannot leave you without the song of the week. In the holiday spirit, this week's song of the week is You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. But not the version you may know, the Lindsey Stirling and Sabrina Carpenter version. I found this just, scrolling on Apple Music. Lindsey Stirling is an amazing violinist, and you guys already know that I love Sabrina Carpenter and think that she has a beautiful voice. So check it out. It's a little, nothing beats the original, but it's a little fun, spunky variation, a little rendition of the song. But yeah, I hope you guys have a fabulous week and that you're getting pumped for the holidays, the holiday weekend, even if you don't celebrate, like I said, that time off. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube as well as this podcast so you never miss episodes. I love you all so very much, and we will meet again next Monday. Although, let me say this before I leave, it might be a little bit late on Monday because Sunday is Christmas. So I will see you next week, but we're going to be a little delayed. And stay tuned for that.